Midfield junior number 5, Lisette Thurman. Forward junior number 8, Jessica Oliver. Midfield junior number 10, Rylan Rintoul. Midfield junior number 11, Ava Great. Defense senior number 12, Captain Ashley Harold. Defense senior number 13, Captain Nora Garrett. Defense junior number 15, Olivia Bowl. Forward junior number 23, Shay Payne. The Irish assistant coach is Haley Lundquist. The head coach of the Rosemount Irish is Gretchen Stramel. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our visitors to Wildcat Stadium this evening, the Rosemount Irish. Now let's meet the starting lineup for your Eagan Wildcats. They will be coming through the introduction tunnel. We start with the goalkeeper, senior number 1, London Anderson. Midfield, senior number 2, Captain Megan Carlson. Defense, senior number 5, Captain Sarah Breckland. Midfield, senior number 6, Olivia Knoll. Midfield, junior number 10, Maddie Hobbs. Forward, junior number 11, Yen Lee. Defense, senior number 16, Captain Mara Ganji. Forward, senior number 17, Caitlin Riley. Forward, senior number 19, Captain Lauren Rockford. Defense, sophomore number 23, Kira Waldrop. And defense, freshman number 24, Catherine Cron. The Wildcat assistant coaches are Carrie James and Dylan Ron. Carrie James will be the acting head coach this evening. The head coach of the Eagan Wildcats is Sherry Ekstrom. Ladies and gentlemen, your Eagan Wildcats. The officials for tonight's game, the center referee is Scott Madison. The assistant referees are Connor Tobin and Kip Jackson. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, the national anthem will be played. The flag is located at the north end of Wildcat Stadium.
Good afternoon, Eagan sports fans, and welcome to a beautiful, sunny Wildcat Stadium for tonight's girls soccer varsity matchup between the Rosemount Irish and the Eagan Wildcats. My name is Skip Newton, happy to be back as the voice of Eagan soccer for another season, and I'm joined this year by Nathan Cron. Nathan, how you doing, buddy?
It's good to be here, Skip. It's exciting to watch these girls play. This is their first varsity home game of the season, and we're going to see they picked a great opponent coming right out of the gate.
Yeah, it's a rematch of the section championship game from last year where Eagan, of course, won 1-0 on a goal by Ariel Lindgren, who's off to college now, so still celebrating that. I know her parents are here in the stands watching. I think we got some other alumni watching online as well. But talk about the season thus far really briefly before they start, Nathan. 1-2 for the Eagan Wildcats. Of course, 5-0 for Rosemount as they are number 2 in the state.
Well, Rosemount's got a great record. We talked to Coach, their coaching staff before the game. They talked about their competition being somewhat uneven, but their girls bringing a certain amount of intensity to every single game. I wouldn't expect that this game would be any different. For the Wildcats, it's all really about goal scoring. They had a number of graduations last year. They've got a number of girls this year that are still figuring out exactly where to be, exactly what the coaching staff wants them to do. They've done a good job keeping balls out of the net. They've been challenged trying to get the ball into the attacking third and making things happen there.
Yeah, I did notice that when I was looking at the statistics. They have only 4 goals against, which is pretty good in 3 games, but only 4 goals for, and 3 of those came in the first game, that victory coming in the opener. So they've lost 2 straight, looking to get back to 500 today. It's interesting that you talked about the intensity from Rosemount. The coach didn't come out and say it, but Gretchen almost hinted that these Rosemount girls remember that 1-0 loss to end the season last year. So that, I think, is on the fronts of their minds, and they're looking for a little bit of a revenge.
Well, Coach Strammel mentioned that there's a big junior class, and many of them were on this varsity team last year. I can't think of it any other way. Absolutely, if you're a player and you went through that last year, you want to get revenge. You want to beat them now, and you want to beat the Wildcats in the sections later.
All right, we are ready for action. Of course, it's 2 40-minute halves. No overtime here in regular season play, and we are off as Rosemount has possession and decides to go deep. Eagan going from left to right, wearing their home green uniforms. That short control passing looking good thus far as they work it up past midfield. Rosemount controls in the middle third, looking to advance it into a scoring position here. Eagan is back defensively, numbers up, keeping it to the outside. Nice job. You said that the defense has been playing well, keeping the ball out of the middle, keeping the ball out of the net. Of course, London Anderson, the senior goalkeeper, played all the games last year, playing all the games this year. And my experience with her is that when her hands get on the ball, there is no rebound. Yeah,
she had a magnificent game against Cretin-Durham Hall 2 games ago. Also had a very good game against East Ridge. The Wildcats just couldn't get anything going offensively.
So let's look for that today. I think that's one of the keys. It'd be nice if Eagan could get more pressure on the goalkeeper for Rosemount. Of course, that's junior goalkeeper Jordan Hecht. She is a fantastic goalkeeper, but if you can get some shots and get some pressure, anything can happen. It's an early corner kick here for Rosemount after a big throw-in that pretty much looked like a corner kick. She threw that one in so far. Got another junior, Taylor Heimerall, taking this kick. As you mentioned earlier, Nathan, a lot of juniors on this roster. Just missed the header there. Fortunate for Eagan, they'll have a goal kick.
Now, regardless of the result, I think Eagan supporters are going to want to see the Wildcats come out and be aggressive in this first half, get to balls very quickly, be smart with the ball, not turn it over in their own end.
Absolutely. Here's good pressure defense back there by Mara Ganji, one of the senior captains. She gets quick shot there by Rosemount. Nice save by London. Guarding that front post, it was a near post shot. So another corner kick for Rosemount as they are applying the early pressure.
Regardless of the result, if the Wildcats can weather the initial storm of adrenaline that's in this game, they're going to get more confidence as this game progresses.
Yeah, I think when there's two teams playing and one of them is, we'll call the ranked team the favorite, the longer the game stays tied, the more things start to even up as far as who has a better chance of winning. The favorite team starts to feel the pressure, whereas the underdog can just kind of relax and hey, anything can happen. And that would be a great way to go here for Eagan, but they do need to get the ball down on the farther end as Olivia Knoll kicks it towards midfield, but unable to get it to Rockford. Eagan clears it, now controls it midfield, looking to advance it into the attacking center. Here's a through ball that's not quite going to get through. Nice defensive cutoff there by Rosemount, number 13, Nora Garrett.
That was an excellent opportunity that was snuffed out by Garrett's play. You know, that's the kind of ball that on this turf, and these girls are still getting used to this turf. They didn't play too many games on this turf last year. They haven't had that. This is their first home game this year. They haven't had a game on this turf yet. That's the kind of ball that you'd like to see get a little bit farther and let the forward run onto it.
Yeah, absolutely. And what a weird schedule to not have a home game yet. And then I was looking ahead at, okay, how many games we got coming up at home? How many games you have on Eagan TV? This is the first of 5 home games, all covered by Eagan TV within the next week and a half. So it's going to be a busy week and a half for the girls and a busy week and a half for us. I'm looking forward to it. Eagan again clearing to midfield, but there's Rosemount to punch it right back down. A little bit of a hard pass, nicely controlled there on the touchline. Back to the middle, they're going to go back to support. Kind of a risky pass, as she wasn't really that open. Good pressure by Lauren. Pass up to Heimerall. She loses control, out of play. It'll be Eagan throw. This will be sophomore Kira Waldrop with the throw on the near touchline. Carlson gets over there trying to win that, can't. Nice clear by the Eagan defense. Rosemont's there to punch it back into the middle field. Olivia wins that ball nicely. Player goes down, no call. She did win the ball with her head, so I like the no call. Rosemount plays it deep. Eagan's easily there for that one. They'll just play it back to Anderson, who's going to give it a boot. Weather is perfect today for a soccer game. It's not too warm, it's not too cool, not too windy. It's just, this is days that we're meant to be playing soccer. It's nice to not have elements.
Yeah, that's right, Skip. And in Minnesota, of course, this is, there are limits to how many of the days like this we get, and we're so blessed to have one of these days here for this game.
And we all know it changes in a hurry.
Yeah, wait till tomorrow.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
Right.
A little bit pressure there by Eagan, but Rosemount recovers, and now they're counterattacking. Nice defense on the far side as Eagan wins that one. Stops the attack. Good battle for the ball there by the 2 players. Now here's a pass back, a little bit of danger. Going across, there's a shot. That one's going to go up and potentially for a field goal.
The shot taken, Taylor Heimerl, number 4, out of bounds.
Skip, it seems like the Wildcats are really searching for a bit of an identity when it comes to, I understand, you know, clearly they want to play good defense. They're not going to give up too many goals, and I think that's definitely the kind of their back line, their safety that they need. But in the middle of the park and in the attacking third, they really haven't found yet what I would call an identity. They haven't found, okay, this is how we're going to work that ball forward. This is how we're going to do things. And I think once they find that, they're going to have a lot more success. Yeah,
I would agree. The talent is definitely there. They just need to find that rhythm. It could be that, you know, there were a lot of key players on the team last year that had graduated, and so they're trying to, you know, figure that out as well, as they have to replace those key players. And I think, you know, it could be one of those situations like last year where they start off kind of looking for that, and then as the season progresses, they start to figure things out, and they can get on a hot streak just like a year ago. That would be outstanding. Nice play by Waldrop, kicking that out of bounds, preventing a shot. It'll be another corner from the near corner for Rosemount.
You get a sense that the Wildcats in the center of the field, especially if they could string together 5 or 6 passes to feet, you know, they would really, I mean, it's almost axiomatic that they're going to have an offensive opportunity. But as we watch through this broadcast, let's think about how many times they're able to schedule and put that many shots together.
Oh, here's a dangerous one. Oh, nice save, London Anderson. The ball just magically dropped right to the foot of the Rosemount forward or midfielder there in the middle of the box. Fortunately, she couldn't place that probably where she wanted to, and it went straight into London Anderson. And of course, as always, no rebound is had.
Yeah, Oliver that time shot it right at Anderson. That's really a missed opportunity for Rosemount. I mean, a clear and an easy, a straightforward opportunity against Anderson from just on the edge of this 6-yard box.
One thing I like from Eagan here, except for that errant pass, is that they're starting to at least get numbers around the ball when they're attacking. And that's key. Like you said, trying to get that identity, trying to move the ball down the field. It's really hard when you find yourself, with the ball and you've only got one teammate to pass the ball to and 5 defenders in your way. The odds are not good. If we got a foul here on Rosemount, be a free kick for Eagan.
Yeah, Eagan playing with 4 at the back, 3 in the middle, and 3 up top, 3 forwards, and are those forwards going to be able to support each other and work with each other as this game progresses? So far, not quite what you'd like to see, but still early.
Yeah, so far they've done a lot of passing up to the forwards, where Lauren is checking back, trying to control that ball, drop it back to a midfielder, and then make another run and kind of work their way up the field that way. So far, limited success, of course, but it's early. We're only 9 minutes in, so lots of soccer to be had. Oh, there's a quick shot off the post. That is the goal post of the soccer, not football. Nice shot, but not good enough, fortunately for Eagan. They control the rebound. Here's another shot. That one is saved by London Anderson. There is a rare rebound and a header and a goal. Unfortunately, Rosemount was able to get in there first. As London punched that ball straight up in the air, she could not get up fast enough. Rosemount raced in there for the rebound. It was actually a pretty easy goal there. The only danger is if she heads it over the net. 1-0 Rosemount, about 9.5 minutes into the first half.
Now we're going to have to wait. We'll have to wait to get the official scoring decision is exactly who punched that across the line. But the reality of it is that time the Eagan defense just wasn't swarming enough. They needed, Anderson makes the save, and then there needs to be someone there to help clean it up, and they just didn't get it done.
A rare mishit there by Waldrop as that one goes spinning off her foot. She'll look to step back and get into a defensive position. I think she probably could have taken a touch there. She had more time than she realized. Just trying to get it up there quickly to her teammates up front, trying to get the answer and get this game tied.
The assist to number 11, Ava Great, in the 10th minute of the game. The time of the goal, 9 minutes, 31 seconds.
Oh, there's a sneaky shot. Nice save by London.
Jessica Oliver, the assist to Ava Great, the time 9:31.
Official scoring is Jessica Oliver from Ava Great in the 9th minute here at Wildcat Stadium. So the Rosemount Irish going to have the benefit of a 1-0 lead, and now center.
Oh, they're calling that a goal.
They're calling it a goal.
Wow. I saw the flag go up on the far side. I wasn't sure what he was calling, but now the center ref goes over to confirm, and that is goal number 2 from an amazingly difficult angle. That is an unfortunate goal for the Rosemount Irish. It looked like London had made the save, but the AR on the far side made the call.
Anderson very upset. You can see her shaking her head. She's definitely frustrated by that call by the assistant referee. Of course, the assistant referee, you assume and believe that he's going to have the best view of that ball, whether it's across the line or not. And obviously, he made the call that he saw, so you have to go with it. But Anderson, obviously very frustrated. You hope that that's not something that builds as this game goes on.
Yeah, that's a tough call. I mean, if he's right on the corner, but I guess my one thing that I was thinking from where he made that call is that London Anderson between the ball and him, and if she's shielding his view in any way, that would be an unfortunate miscall. Of course, soccer fans, if you watch enough games you played, the ball needs to go entirely across the line in order for it to be in the goal or in order for it to be out of bounds. So even if any part of that ball is on the line, it is not considered a goal.
The other thing, and forgive me, I don't have the officials so we can name them by name, but the other thing the assistant referee is doing is he's looking into the sun. I mean, he is looking into the sun, and that's going to create potential challenges. I'm a referee myself, and I can tell you that when you're an AR looking into the sun down the line, that there can be some challenges with that as well. But referees are taught to only call what you see, and obviously he felt like he saw enough that ball was over the line.
Yeah, he definitely made a confident call. He put his flag up right away, but Eagan's just going to have to adjust. They're controlling the ball now. that pass up to forward is really having a tough time connecting. They might need to adjust that strategy and work it with shorter passes to the outside, playing out and in, as the Rosemount defense is right on Lauren's heels every time they try to get her the ball.
Yeah, Rosemount's definitely seems to be taking the approach that we're going to let you, we're going to let you kick the ball towards your forwards, but then we're just going to smother them as soon as they get close to the ball. So Eagan's going to have to find another strategy, another way, as you said, Skip, of moving this ball up the field.
Long ball played by goalkeeper Anderson after a pass back from freshman Kate Cron, one of the starters on that back line, one of the center backs. Header there by Hobbs doesn't go the direction she wanted. Kira's there to play that one safely out of bounds, and Eagan will regroup. Rosemount, unlike Eagan, has not had any trouble putting the ball in the net. Now, I know they scored 14 goals in their first game, so it pads the stats a little bit. But counting the 2 today, this is 26 goals now they've scored on the season, and that's in 5 games and 13 minutes. There's a nice save by London.
Rolling up 14 goals against Northfield, I'm not sure, as you said, Skip, I'm not sure how much that tells you about the competition or about Rosemount, to be honest. But as Gretchen Sturmel said, the girls have brought the intensity. I mean, when you play a team that you're better than by substantial margin, you should win by 8 goals, 10 goals. You should win by a number of goals, and they did that. So to their credit.
They're on the attack again. This one goes into the box. Rosemount sandwiched by 2 Eagan defenders. Nicely done. Cleared out by Carlson. Gets it up to Kylie Weisendonger. Did I say that right?
Weisendonner.
Weisendonner. All right. It's the one name I saw on the list. I was like, I'm going to have to ask about this one. Here's Lauren trying to win that ball. She can't quite get there in time, but she's going to keep hustling for it. Now she gets into position. Stops Rosemount from saving it, so at least Eagan maintains possession down inside the 30-yard line of the football field. Good throw by Kira. Lauren heads it towards the middle. Unfortunately, Eagan's not there. Megan fighting for position. Gets that over to Jensen. Jensen's going to turn and fire. That one's blocked. Kira's there to pick it up. Tries to find a teammate. Deflected. Kira wins the header. Now controls and unfortunately goes out of bounds. Now, you said this is their first game at home. Is this their first game on turf as well?
It's not their first game on turf. They have played the Wildcats have played other games on turf, but this is only their second time playing any. They had a preseason scrimmage against Maple Grove here about 2 weeks ago. But beyond that, no, this is their first chance to play on this turf.
And that, I feel like that used to be a bigger deal, switching from the typical grass field to playing on turf. You could tell when teams weren't used to it. Their passes would be off. They often too fast when they're going through balls and they get to the goalkeeper, get out of bounds. However, it seems like a lot of these high schools are putting up turf fields now, so it's much more common than it used to be. So that's becoming less and less of a factor for teams.
Yeah, in the South Suburban, I don't think there are any schools left in the South Suburban Conference that have grass fields. There might be some other schools in the area that may still have them, but none in the conference.
Here's a pass into the middle, deflected off, and in. It hit the goal post and went in. Again, the AR on the far side was right there to make the call. And that one, it did look like when London grabbed it, her hands were well in the net. So that one looked like a pretty easy call for the AR. And it is 3-0 Rosemount with about 24 minutes left in the first half. Things definitely not going Eagan's way to start this one.
No, this is about as bad as you could draw it up for the Eagan Wildcats. I mean, they've given up goals. They've looked relatively listless offensively. Defensively, they've not been able to clear balls, and they're setting up their goalie. London Anderson's played all right. She's had a couple of balls that she didn't think were over the line or that she thought she had. And right now, the Wildcats just need to get some confidence.
He's unassisted in the 16th minute. The time of the goal, 15 minutes, 43 seconds. The Irish goal, second in the game.
Headed out of bounds by Rosemount. Eagan throws it in, looking to get something into the middle of the field here, get a shot on goal. This one goes out further down towards the corner. Another throw deep for Eagan. Really tough to see the jersey numbers. These green, that far away, you know, old man eyes here. I believe that was Ganji with the throw in. Goes to the middle field. Megan wins that, tries to turn. Nice play by Rosemount. Nice step up there by Brecklin up to Rockford. Rosemount plays that one out of bounds. Another Eagan throw, this time on the near touchline.
I mean, there's still a lot of time in this game, Skip. If the Wildcats can get some good things going their way, they can change this momentum. The momentum's it's one-way traffic right now. But if the Wildcats can do something to change that momentum, whether it's a hard foul, it's a goal, it's a good scoring chance, something like that is going to help these Wildcats get back in this game.
Yeah, the key word there that I was going to say as well is momentum. And right now it's all with the Irish. If the Wildcats, you know, getting a goal is an amazing uplift for a team, especially if they can do it in the first half. You know, if they can go into halftime down, you know, fewer goals than they are now, whether it's 2 goals, if they can get a couple, that can be a huge thing, because now you get more confidence, and again, like you said, get the momentum, and anything can happen in sports. We've learned that over the years, that stranger things have happened than come back from 3 goals. So, but yeah, they need to get that confidence going.
Well, the unofficial statistics have the Rosemount Irish with 9 shots and 7 of those on goal with 3 goals. It's really been one-way traffic, and really the Wildcats not really showing the intensity level that they need to show to be able to play with this level of a team.
I like that the game is early in the season. I think that can help a team prepare for the rest of their games. When you're playing one of the best teams in the state early, you get that out of the way, you learn your lesson, and it can show what you need to work on, you know, as a club. And again, you know, you can turn it around. It's still, you know, September 9th, so there's plenty of time. I mean, it's a fast season, but there's plenty of time to turn things around. It's just the first conference game. That one's booted to midfield by Anderson. It gets by a couple of players. Controlled by Eagan. Back to Carlson. Back to Ganji. She goes back to Cron. She goes deep. Finds her teammate up in the Rosemount end. Played up off of Riley, and that one's going to go out of play. So the Rosemount defense playing it very safe. They're not taking chances, just trying to control the ball. They are, anything that comes back there, they're just getting it out. Which, of course, with a 3-0 lead, you absolutely play that strategy. Even though there's this much time left, there's no reason to take chances on the back line.
That's right, and both center backs, I'm sure you've noticed it too, Skip. Both center backs watching Lauren Rockford very closely, not letting her get more than maybe 4 or 5 yards away, but together they're really squeezing her tight from both sides.
Good spin there, move by Ella Logan, sophomore into the game. Loses control in the box. One played by Brecklin does not go the way she wanted, goes out of play. Boy, this being my first varsity game of the season, of course, after last year's COVID year, I can tell you one of the things I like, there's ball boys and ball girls again.
There are.
And we can actually get back to playing quickly and not having to wait when a ball goes far out of bounds and they have to chase it down for 35 to 40 seconds.
For the Wildcats.
Yeah, I can tell you as a supporter of Eagan Wildcats soccer who happened to be at the boys' game at Bloomington Kennedy last night, there were some moments where it was kind of nice with a 2-1 lead to have that ball go well behind the goal and have 30 seconds run off the clock. As I watched my son stand in the corner on the ball smartly, that was kind of nice. In this situation, though, the Wildcats are not going to be standing on any balls. They need to push this ball up the field.
Yeah, precisely. There's, some, again, plenty of time, but there has to be some angst and motivation to get things moving and get some momentum here. Rosemount doing a good job of pressuring when we pass the ball back to our defenders. Those forwards aren't playing lazy. They're not, taking plays off. Whenever that ball goes back to the defense, they are on them right away, which is an aggressive style that can really lead to mistakes if the Eagan defenders aren't careful.
Well, and if the Irish forwards are going to press that hard, Skip, you would like to think that would open up some opportunities in the midfield for the Wildcats, right? If their forwards are going to press really high, there should be opportunities and space in the midfield. The Wildcats just need to start figuring out where that space is.
Yeah, and you can look at that too when you're looking at at the field. There's that big open space in the middle, and that's the space that right there. For example, if Eagan could have won that ball, that would have been a perfect opportunity to turn that. Now you've got plenty of room to move up, advance the ball, even with the dribble, and let your forwards make runs, diagonal runs, whatever they want to do, and get open instead of trying to force the play to a teammate that's not open, or if you're 1-on-4 like we talked about earlier, then you've got nowhere to go.
Yeah, see there we had an opportunity. Hobbs had an opportunity, and she had, her mind saw exactly what she wanted. She had a teammate streaking down the sideline. Unfortunately, that time the ball just didn't go where she wanted it to go.
Substitution for the Irish. Ava Thompson, number 3. Going off, Joey Edgar, number 2.
Now, is the boys' games following this one, is that correct? Is that one also, this is a doubleheader on Eagan TV?
It's a doubleheader on ETV. So, yeah, stick around. At 7 o'clock, the boys will be playing Rosemount here on this very field. And so ETV will be bringing you all of that action as well.
This one's shielded by Garrett, so it'll be a Rosemount ball as into the game. Natalie Ward, number 3, was pressuring there. Waldrop takes the throw. Up to Ward. Little flick with the foot, nicely done.
Yeah, there's an example, Skip, of 2 players that just need to get on the same page from a communication standpoint.
Yeah, it almost cost them possession, but they were able to make up for it. There's another example of number 4 there, Taylor Heimerall, really pressuring aggressively on that back pass to Kira Waldrop.
And with a 3-0 lead, you have to think even early in this game, Skip, that the Irish are going to do a good job of being safe. They're going to be safe. They're going to make sure that ball goes out of bounds. They don't want any type of mistake or a weird bounce to give life or momentum back to these Wildcats.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. Look to avoid any penalties when it's within shooting distance as well, because you never know, someone's got a rocket for a shot that can turn things around quickly. This one's won by Logan. She's going to pass it across, defended nicely by Rosemount, and again kicked out of bounds for the 643rd throw-in for the Eagan Wildcats.
Right now the Wildcats could use a shot on goal, Skip.
Yes. Ooh. There you go.
Yeah,
all right,
dialed
so
it up.
Next time, just ask for a score, and maybe
right.
they will oblige.
That's right. That's right.
I like the shot though. It was far out. It was on the left foot, but I think getting shots on goal at this point, any shot is a good thing.
That's right.
Let's keep that up and start working that down there. And some strange things can happen, but you're not going to score if you're not shooting. Did that one go? Yes, it did go out the goal line, so this is going to be a corner kick. Unfortunate spin there for the Eagan Wildcats.
Yeah, unlucky play for the defense that time, and it brings up the Irish corner, and that's their 4th corner of this half, and we've still got almost over 14 minutes to go in the half. So clearly a lot of opportunities here for the Irish, and it's really almost amazing that that's 3-0.
Oh, that one was won by the Irish, but just barely redirected towards the net. I'm not sure that thing had enough on it to even get in if London hadn't scooped it up. Punt headed by Great from the Irish. Cleared down by Rosemount, misplay, or by Eagan. Rosemount misplays. Eagan wins the ball, but they're going to call foul there. on Weisendowner.
Yeah, very unlucky. Weisendowner's style of play, Skip, is physical, and she has a good low center of gravity and is very physical. Unfortunately, she does tend to, get called for some of those. Now, whether they're actual fouls or whether they're match control fouls, that's a good question, but that's what the referee saw, so that's why he blew his whistle.
Yeah, and this has been a very clean game to this point. There have been very few fouls called, very few plays where I felt that the ref could have called a foul. So, it's okay for Eagan to maybe pick up the physicality a little bit. Of course, you don't want to give a bunch of free kicks to Rosemount. That's not going to help things out. But
well, Skip, we talked about momentum, right? We talked about how you get momentum back, and I said one of the first things I said was a hard challenge. I mean, a clean challenge, but a hard challenge might help swing some momentum back towards the girls in green, and maybe that's what they need.
Just under 13 minutes to play here. 3-0 Rosemount. The first goal, long shot, was nicely saved by London Anderson, but it was so high she couldn't control it and went straight up in the air, and then it was headed in on the rebound. Rosemount was faster to that rebound than the Wildcat defense. Second goal was from a really tight angle, far enough away. I think if you asked Anderson if she felt that ball was all the way across the line, she would disagree, but unfortunately it was called. And then third goal sneaked into that post as well shortly afterwards. So 3 goals in fairly quick succession, giving Rosemount the lead as Eagan's working it down the field here, trying to get another shot, see if they can't get their first of the game. Nicely played there, into the box, cleared out by the defense. Unfortunately, Eagan's not close enough to punch that back in, but they do get it back to Waldrop, who pushes it up to Lee. Quick throw-in to Heimerall, and then they're going to boot it deep. This one's going to get over the head of Brecklin. She hustles back nicely to get goal side, plays the ball to her teammate, Cron. Again, there's that pressure. Quick turn and shot, defended nicely. Eagan just fighting to keep it out of the danger zone there. Here's that Heimerall-Waldrop matchup. It's been out on this side all game long. Two very talented girls going at it. Cross goes all the way across the field. Now back into the box. Brecklin plays that out. Headed out by Ganji. Rosemount's there to scoop up the loose ball. Looking to pass, and that one's deflected. Awkwardly by Eagan.
For the Irish. Into the game, number 22.
Looked like she might have tweaked something there. She's
number 11,
walking gingerly. I'm not sure if she's healthy there. That's Ellery Bartels. Yep, she's going down. She's hurt. But play will continue now that the ball's in. Eagan trying to get some pressure on. Carlson can't reach that one. Eagan playing a girl short as Bartels is down injured. This ball's going to be cleared, thankfully, out of bounds deep near the corner for an Eagan throw, and now they can get that substitution in for Bartels.
Yeah, I didn't see what happened. It looked like she came to a stop. Looks like she came to a stop, and something went wrong with one of her 2 legs. I couldn't, it was hard to tell, but the fact that she's walking off and doesn't seem to be in a lot of pain is certainly a good thing.
Yeah, I always get nervous when a girl is by herself on turf and reacts oddly when there's no contact. Those non-contact injuries are the ones that are always the most scary. I've heard actually from a couple of former players of both these teams, they're freshmen in college playing at college, and in the first week of college practice, Morgan Eckerly from the Wildcats went up to Duluth, got a knee injury. She's out for the season. And then talented former Rosemount Irish player Kenzie Jacobson, also at the University of Wisconsin, the Badgers, got hurt in the first week of practice. I mean, just so disappointed to hear about these girls, because you want to see them succeed at the next level, regardless of which high school they played in. So real bummer. And I know Morgan personally, and she's got such a great attitude. So she's already like, all right, let's get the surgery, let's go. But boy, that's got to be devastating. And obviously, this is hopefully not that serious, but that's always what I get worried about when I see a girl go down and there was no contact.
Yeah, I think when you're bracing for contact, and I think this happens not just in soccer but even in other sports. I think when you're on turf and you're bracing for contact, your muscles tense, you're prepared for it. Your body does some things to protect itself, and when there's no one around you, your body's more at ease, right? It's more at ease and it's looser, and things aren't quite fitting into the exactly where they belong. Perhaps maybe there's a slight misalignment, and all of a sudden, as you say, bad things can happen. But hopefully, and I will say that both teams, and we saw these teams warming up earlier tonight, there's been a lot of research going into women's sports with respect to ACL tears and things like that, and warm-up methods that have demonstrated a substantial drop in those types of injuries, and it's good to see both teams out there using that type of warm-up.
Yeah, that's a great point, because as people just intensify their participation in sports, and they get bigger, they get stronger, they get faster, and they're training harder and longer, their bodies need to be able to keep up with that intensity, and that's what you're hoping to avoid are injuries. So you need to work training in that specifically targets the avoidance of injuries, because that can really be devastating for the player and the team. Not a whole lot of action on the field as the teams are kind of jockeying back and forth for possession, more down towards the Eagan defensive third.
Wildcats really need to connect some passes, Skip. I think we've seen that the long ball isn't working for them necessarily, that they need to get the ball down the field in another way. And so, if that's going to be the case, then I think at some point you shrug your shoulders and say, okay, well, let's do some different things in the midfield.
Yep, here's a nice turn to open space. So we've got a chance here with Hobbs advancing the ball. She's got girls on the wing. This ball does get through nicely to Lee. Lee's going to take a shot. That one's going to go wide, but it's not going to go out of bounds. Rockford's chasing it down to the corner, not going to get there first, and again, played out of bounds by Rosemount. But there was maybe one of the best chances we've had all game. A perfect pass by Hobbs up to Lee. Probably didn't put that cross or that shot exactly where she wanted, but I liked the play, and it all started by getting it in the middle of the field again when we controlled the middle and had space. And this one goes out the goal line for the first Eagan corner kick of the game. About the 6.5 minutes to play in the first half, so a big scoring opportunity here. This would be awesome if Eagan could capitalize. There's a ball in there. It's close to Hector. Oh, and she scoops that up perfectly. Boy, she just looked very calm, under control. She hasn't had a whole lot of action today, but
no, great job climbing the ladder by Hecht. I mean, she went up and reached that ball nearly at the apex. I mean, it was textbook.
Yeah, it would have taken a really tall Eagan striker to jump up and really out-leap her, because, of course, she has the advantage of using her hands and her arm length, and that's almost impossible to stop when a goalie plays it that high. Well done. Some contact on the far field, but no call. Play continues. Rosemount has the ball advancing into the third. They're going to play it up, through ball into the box, but London Anderson's going to get to that one first as she comes off her line nicely.
No, going back to the Hobbs to Lee combination you've mentioned earlier, Skip, that was easily the best, the most dangerous and the most competent that the offense has looked in this half. And so that, if that's a trend line, let's hope it's a trend and not a mirage.
Yeah, it really is important. It feels like a lot of times when the defense is clearing and we get possession, there's too much space between the midfielders and the attackers. They're not staying connected, and I think that is the one thing where they need to maybe shorten those passing lanes, do a couple of short, quick passes to try and open things up. Get Rosemount reacting and moving instead of them just playing behind Lauren Rockford. Like right now, they got two girls on her, so the odds of her beating both of them is really tough. That pass is intercepted. Right idea, but she was not open.
Yeah, Jensen saw, again, that's another situation, Skip, where Jensen sees with her mind what she wants to do, and the ball just doesn't get there.
Carlson wins that one. Quickly defended by Rintoul. Good hustle by Ryland as it goes out. Here's Waldrop with the throw. Looking for Rockford. Lee is there. Gets it over to Carlson. Passing up to Riley. Back to Megan. She tries to cross, but can't get through all those bodies. Quickly back to midfield here as Eagan controls, wins the ball. Players go down, no call. Back up to Eagan. Riley over on the far side. Trying to get something going with Kirsten Lee. Megan now controls the ball, looking for a teammate. Tries to go through, but that one is kicked out of bounds, and I think we're going to have our second corner. So good pressure here by Eagan. It felt like their speed of play just increased in the last 30 seconds or so, where all of a sudden more passes, quicker passes, they're passing to feet, passing to space. That's what they need to do more of. They need to pick things up. Maybe keep this one a little farther away from Hecht and don't let her get her hands on it. Hope it goes in close again. Punched up in the air, headed by Rosemount. Eagan trying to control. Another head by Rosemount. Lauren passes it out, and shot goes too high and out of play. We've got a handball, which I didn't see.
Yeah, the referee found a handball, or saw a handball. He was in a good position on the far side. Saw a handball against Eagan during that scrum, and I think what happened is the ball bounced up, and you know, as players are wont to do, their arms are out, and then it obviously hit somebody's arm.
Hecht crushes that free kick all the way to midfield. Won temporarily by Eagan. Not a good pass back as Heimerall's there to intercept. She passes to a streaking teammate. That's Fugit on the left side. She's going to take a shot. That one's curling just outside the goalpost. A nice shot as she had the right spin on it as it started to curl back in, but not quite enough as it goes out harmlessly. This will be a goal kick for the Wildcats.
Yeah, I don't think that I'd like to. I don't think I want her doing that 3 more times, because I think Fugit would probably score on one of those. That was a beautiful shot.
Yes, and we had the perfect angle on it, so we could tell right away it wasn't going in, but boy, that got me a little nervous at first. Carlson clearing up to a teammate. As Weisendonner unable to win possession. Rintoul passes up, but Ganji deflects that one out, and it looked like it went off Rosemount. Nicely done. She was calling to the ref for the ball, and her pleas did not go unnoticed.
You know, approaching the last minute of the half, Skip, I mean, this is a situation where the Wildcats, A, want to keep the ball out of their own net, and B, it's kind of like a hockey game. If they can somehow get some sort of good pressure here in the last minute, even better yet, a goal, might really change the complexion of the game.
Maybe this free kick near midfield will help them out, as Lee was pushed from behind just enough to cause the ref to make the call. I think that was a good call. It was enough of a push. Got about 40 seconds left. Of course, it's a running clock. Waldrop drops that one in near the 18. Nicely done. Bounces up, trying to win possession and get a shot is Lee. This one's going to be kicked out of play again. Lee's going to throw this one in.
And Wildcats are going to have to attack this ball as Lee throws it in with only seconds left in the half.
10 seconds remaining.
Oh, it's going to be a corner. Are they going to have enough time? They're setting up quick. We got 5 seconds. They're going to let it go as soon as they can. Nice ball into the box. Oh! Naturally, one of their best scoring chances, and time runs out. It was a wild fury of goal scoring by Rosemount there about 15 minutes or so into the game. They had a 3-0 lead really quickly, and it felt like Eagan at least settled down a little bit after that and started to get a little more pressure there in the last few minutes of the half. I think that's kind of the spark we're looking for, right? That's what we want to see them do. so they can get some of that momentum and maybe come out, play a little more aggressively, and pick up where they left off in the second half.
Yeah, I think that's right, Skip. There's no question that Eagan played better as the half wore on. And part of that is the players being refocused by the coaching staff on doing their jobs and not necessarily looking at the scoreboard or the fans or any of the other things that are around them, and just focusing on executing what they need to execute, doing what they need to do. I'd like to see in the second half, and we saw this towards the end of the first half, the more passes we can connect, the more shorter passes we can connect in that midfield, seems like the formula for success moving the ball down the field against the Irish.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we learned right away that the long balls where the forwards are checking back aren't working. I mean, it's really tough to control that ball when you've got a girl right on your back. So unless you're able to do a ball over the top, or like we saw that one play where they were able to pass it down the touchline to Lee, and then she got across into the box. They need more of that, more of the passing, like you said. So let's see if Eagan can make those adjustments at halftime and come out in the second half and look better and get some pressure. We'll be back for the second half shortly. Thank you for watching. This is Eagan Wildcat Soccer on Eagan TV. as the Rosemount Irish, the second-ranked Rosemount Irish, are up 3-0 over your Eagan Wildcats. My name is Skip Newton. Glad to be back to you for another season of girls varsity soccer, and I'm joined by Nathan Cron. Nathan, tell me, what is the focus going into the second half?
Well, the focus for the Wildcats is to take everything in that first half and kind of say, okay, that's garbage. I mean, we didn't do what we needed to do. We didn't do enough of what we needed to do. Maybe not garbage. It's a little strong. But the first half was certainly a big challenge. Second half of the first half was better play, saw a few scoring opportunities. For the Irish, keep your foot on the gas. For the Irish, keep doing what you're doing. Keep being successful. At some point, if the score gets to a point where you can take your foot off the gas, that's fine. But the Irish have to just keep doing what they're doing. The Wildcats are the ones who have to make all the changes.
Yeah, absolutely. When you have a lead like this, you don't want to get complacent. You don't want to get lazy and just assume that the game is over. But at the same time, you can change your strategy a little bit. You can be a lot safer. You can be, take fewer risks because you don't need to. I mean, you're up 3 goals.
That's right.
Even if Eagan gets the next one, it's still a 2-goal game. But yeah, I do not expect Rosemount to stop pressuring whatsoever. They've been doing it all game long, especially pressuring our back line. I think that's been one of their strengths in not allowing Eagan to control the ball. Eagan's going to play this one deep off the kick. Unfortunately, the spin of the ball does not go in Eagan's favor. Here they win one unexpectedly, as I don't think Ganji was ready for that one to pop right under her foot. Kicked it out of bounds, and just from the look on her face, I don't think she's happy with the result of that. It'll be a Rosemount throw early in the second half. Ganji has that, tries to head it back to Carlson. Off her foot. Rockford can't get there in time. Another Irish throw.
Well, we'll see if the Wildcats coming out of halftime, Skip, are able to be intense, right? And that is, can they be first to balls? Can they be on defensively? Can they do things quickly? And right now they're moving it around pretty well. Yeah,
the one thing I was just noticing there is we got possession, and there were 3 or 4 girls within an easy passing distance of the girl that had possession of the ball. And that's something we just didn't see a lot of in the first half. I want to see more of that. I think that can open things up, really put the pressure on the Rosemount defenders and not make it so easy for them. Unfortunately, Rosemount's able to get the ball down the field into the box, and Ganji has no choice but to play that out of bounds, and this is going to be another corner kick for Rosemount. They've had some really dangerous opportunities off of corners. I don't think any of them actually resulted in a goal, but a lot of good scoring chances. This one's played off the head, but out of bounds. That's a really tough shot to execute by the streaking Rosemount player there, and she has to get her head up on top of that so it goes down. When you don't, you see what happens. It goes way up in the air harmlessly for a goal kick.
And that's junior Olivia Bull, number 15 for the Irish. She came from her center back position all the way forward for that and did a great job of climbing the ladder. If you're going to try to win the ball in the air, that's where you have to do it, at the top of your jump, and that's what she did.
Nice play by Cron there to keep it out of harm's way as she was being pressured aggressively by Rosemount. London had come off her line to try and get there, but she couldn't make it either. So a nice defensive play by the freshman. Yangia playing it out of bounds this time for a throw-in deep down near the corner.
I think we're going to know in the first handful of minutes of this half, Skip, if the Wildcats are going to come and bring some intensity to the second half. So far, the signs are promising. We need to see a little bit more.
Yep. Heimerall must have a big throw as nobody's near her, and that's exactly what happens. Gets it all the way in. Nice flick header there by the Irish. Fortunately, the only one on that side was Waldrop as she plays it out. Here's Eagan trying to win the ball at half and get some sort of a counterattack going, but they're unable to execute that. Brecklin heads it. Another header off the Irish. This one's hopefully going to go out of play, but quick hustle by Heimerall at least forces it to the far touchline. She'll be throwing it in.
Yeah, I like what Waldrop was trying to do there, but Heimerall just too big and too physical.
Another long throw, almost like a corner kick. Brecklin wins a loose ball. Oh, a nice pass into the middle by Heimerall. Here's a spin shot. London Anderson does a great job of getting her body behind the ball and then just smothering it there. There was absolutely no rebound, which was important because had she given one up, that probably would have been the 4th goal for the Irish.
Taking number 10, Rylan Ridgewell.
Carlson trying to win that against 2 defenders. She can't. This one's played in the box. Looks like Anderson's going to scoop that one up. Roll it out to Waldrop. Trying to get some possession going here. Looking for Hobbs. Hobbs battling with it, losing it. Back to Waldrop. Can't connect to Carlson. Here's Brecklin, kicks it off the Irish forward. Stays in, kicks it off her again. This time gets the throw in. That was Ava Great. The pressure, quick restart here. Eagan gets it up downfield. Defender goes down. Eagan wins the ball. They have a 3-on-3 here. Opportunity, if they can get something going, to get it into the zone. 2 defenders, she can't get an opportunity to cross. Doesn't have anybody close to pass to. That's kind of what we talked about in the first half, right? She moving the ball down the touchline, and there were 2 girls that went into the box for the cross. She couldn't execute the cross, but she had no support pass. Nobody was there for her to drop it back to. That's the disconnect I think we're seeing far too often in the Eagan attack. There's a left-footed shot. That's blocked by Carlson. Ganji taps it up to a teammate, then goes up for Lauren Rockford, who keeps that ball in. Very well done. And again, taking no chances, Ashley Harold, one of the captains for the Irish, kicking that ball out of bounds.
Yeah, it was a good ball by Weisendonner up to Rockford. Rockford sublime with the right foot, keeping that up along the touchline.
Ganji moving it up where it actually went out of bounds. Rockford trying to get it back to where she does. Now we get a cross. Unfortunately, the only one there is hacked to the goalkeeper, and she'll pick that up easily. Bring it back to center, and what I assume will be a big boot as usual.
Skip, it looks like the Wildcats have come out here in the second half with a slightly different formation. It looks like they've dropped one of their forwards into the midfield, and they're going with 2 on top rather than 3 on top. And I think they were maybe getting out-muscled or outworked or outplayed in the midfield. It looks like they've slid someone back. Tell me if you think I'm missing something or wrong, let me know, but I think that's what it looks like to me.
Yeah, they definitely have 2 high right now, and then, you know, if it was a front 3, that third one's dropping back and kind of a high attacking midder in the middle, which I think is a good strategy change if that's what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I like that is it felt like when we had some limited success and some limited scoring opportunities in the first half, it was as a result of winning and controlling the play in the middle of the field. And they might be adding another body in there to try and do that. Again, giving themselves some good passing, easy passing options, because that's not what they've had a lot of thus far. And maybe they're trying to produce that going into the second half.
Yeah, it looks like they've taken Weisendonner and slid her back from a wing to an outside mid, and they've got 4 now in the midfield with what looks like Carlson playing in front of, number 2, Megan Carlson playing in front of the back 4 in more of a diamond formation.
Yeah, she might have slid back into that number 6, I believe, is the position, which of course I really just know that because that's the position that my daughter Lara played for a lot of her career. And of course I should mention that Lara, along with former Eagan teammates Ariel Lindgren and Emma Jager, are all watching at the University of Minnesota. So they've let me know that they're watching the game and rooting on their alma mater. So go Wildcats and go Gophers.
I'd like to say hi and thanks for joining us here at ETV. We really appreciate it. You know, there is a staff and there's a volunteer group that helps put these things on, and we appreciate everybody watching. It's nice that we're not in the middle of a major lockdown pandemic, so people can be at games, but we still appreciate you joining us, especially when you're from other states or other places around the country.
Nice to see some parents of former players also in the stands coming out on a gorgeous Thursday evening to watch some soccer. So I'd love to see that. We'll have a goal kick here for Eagan.
The Eagan Soccer Booster Club would like to thank its platinum sponsors for the 2021 season: the Eagan Arms Public House, the Eagan Hockey Association, Wave Soccer Club, Elite Feet Training, Minnesota Orthodontics, and Summit Orthopedics. Those are the platinum sponsors helping out both the boys and girls program here, and we thank you for your support.
That ball is cleared all the way to the near touchline, chased down by Ganji. He's got plenty of time, not something that Eagan players have had very often in this game. Tried to connect on the long ball with Lauren, and again, the defender is right there to pressure that one out of bounds. So that long pass proving to be a difficult one to connect on.
Nice header by Weisendonner there, stepping up. I think that's what you want to see. Good one from Kron there as well.
Hobbs hustling back, trying to win possession. Nice step up there by Brecklin. Unfortunately not to a teammate. Stolen there by Waldrop. She's got some space. She's going to look up for Lee. Lee this time, the long pass had a good chance to connect as she had an open teammate. Riley streaking down the far touchline. Unfortunately went out of bounds. It'll be a throw for the Irish as they approach midfield. Riley wins that with a head, tapped by Lee. Trying to get it either to Rockford or back to Riley.
You have to like the change of formation. You have to. I mean, after a first half where if 3 goals go the other way, I like the coaching staff doing something a little different, to seeing how it works, challenging the girls to step into a new role or challenging the girls to play in a different shape. I think is a good thing, and hopefully in this second half so far it's been more even. I think in this second half.
Yes, and I know from my history with Coach Sherry Ekstrom that she trains multiple formations. I mean, she definitely does not just stick with one formation. So that hopefully is something that the girls have had an opportunity to learn and get accustomed to. So they're familiar with what is my role based on what formation we have and where am I playing on the field, and why are we doing this change? What is the ultimate goal of making that change? Kept in by Rosemount, although that might have been one they could have just let go, but Eagan wins it. Let's see if they can get a shot on goal. Here's a through ball. Unfortunately, nothing but Irish there. Quick pressure from behind. And as usual, they kick the ball harmlessly out of bounds. Ganji up from her outside defender position to take the throw, getting down deep in Irish territory. Got Rockford in the corner. Unfortunately, that one goes off her and out of play. This is going to be a goal kick for Hecht. We've got about 28 minutes, 30 seconds left in the game. Still 3-0 Rosemount. Eagan trying to get that first goal and get some momentum here. Header off Hobbs. Back the wrong direction. Controlled by the Irish. They come to the near side. This is Payne. Washed by Ganji. She goes to the middle. Over to Great. Great looking to shot. She's swallowed up by Eagan defenders, and they win possession. Up to Lee. She goes out to Riley, who's open on the far touchline. She needs to put on some speed here as Rosemount's tracking her down. Pulls it back nicely. Looks for Lee in the middle. She's defended and kicked back into midfield. Irish look to regroup, and here's a ball over the head. It's 1-on-2. Kron there, winning it nicely. Very calm for the freshman. Well done. Keeps that out of harm's way, and here's Brecklin clearing that one near midfield. It'll be a throw for Rosemount.
Despite the fact that passes haven't always found feet, we're seeing a concerted, I should say, effort by the Wildcats to connect some passes. A couple of times they've missed the easy pass, Skip. It looks like they've tried the harder pass and they've missed the easy pass, and hopefully that's something they can pick up off of film maybe tomorrow or the next day.
And we got Kylie over here trying to beat her defender one-on-one. Ganji steps up, nice play. She goes up over the head. Now Rockford has possession, trying to fight it off with the Rosemount defender. She grabs the jersey and tosses her down. Easy call, I think, there for the referee. That was Ava Thompson. As a Rosemount player knocked to the ground.
Yeah, I think Rockford would have just a little bit of stick for the referee, only because she felt she was taking a lot of contact going down. But you're right, a pulled jersey, a tug of the jersey is going to be an easy call every time for a referee. Something that the attackers simply need to be aware of.
Oh, nice play there by Kylie crossing it over. Unfortunately, no one's there for Eagan. Rosemount controls. And they move it quickly into the attacking third. Cron on defense. They pass it into the goal. Here's number 23 taking the shot. London was in position just in case it came on net. That was Shea Payne. Found herself all alone near the outside of the box with definitely a good scoring chance, but the angle wasn't the best. Fired it out of play.
No, and the unofficial statistics have the Wildcats only conceding that shot. That's the only shot in 14 minutes and change. 14 minutes and change. That's the only shot they've conceded here this half. So that's definitely an improvement. By this time in the first half, they had conceded twice already.
Yeah, the defense has tightened up. They're looking better. They're connecting a few more passes. They just need to, when they get it down there, continue to connect passes and get those shots on goal. Nice flick here off the goal kick by Carlson. Coming over near the touchline. This would be Weisendoner. Back to Kirsten Lee into the game. She kicks that out of play. It'll be an Irish throw.
Wildcat Booster Club would also like to thank their gold sponsors for this season. Birchwood Dental, Rami Cormont at Coldwell Banker, Divine Salon, Dunn Brothers Coffee, John and Melanie Willie at Edina Realty, the North Oaks Blast Soccer Club, and the Urgency Room. Thank you to those sponsors, those gold sponsors, again, for being partners for Eagan Wildcat boys and girls soccer.
Throw in for Kirsten Lee here on the near touchline. She ends up going back to her. She shields the ball, trying to get it back to Ganji. Can't. Now Irish have the ball. They're going to take a far left-footed shot from about 30 yards out. It goes wide. It's be another goal kick for Anderson.
No, I like the play there by the Irish forwards. They did a nice job there of just short, controlled passes to open up space. You saw one player moving off another, and it was a nice play there by Great to just set up her teammate with that run.
Well, there was a nice fade there by that same Shea Payne that we talked about earlier. Little give and go. Kirsten Lee got back and interfered with the running lane of Payne. So it goes out of bounds harmlessly. So Payne and Great kind of working the two-man game over here, doing it well. Another short ball here by Eagan on the goal kick, trying to advance it up. Here's Carlson, gets it back to Lee. She gives it the big left-footed boot, looking to connect with Natalie Ward. Rosemount steps up and keeps it down deep in the Eagan end.
Pardon me, Skip.
No, go right ahead.
I was going to say, credit to Rosemount. They have not taken their foot off the gas. They're pressing, doing what they can, as Eagan now has an opportunity.
It's a pass up. Lauren Rockford trying to get past that last defender. Fortunately, well defended. She can't. Lee wins the clear, but can't control. Carlson providing pressure, trying to get it out of bounds, and does. Of course, when the girl's standing out of bounds and plays the ball like that, it's a pretty good indication that it went out.
Keep making it easy for the assistant referee.
Well, and as a referee yourself, I'm sure you can appreciate that.
Yes. Anything to help the AR out. Nice attempt by Riley there to have a little flick on it. You almost get the sense that if Eagan's going to score, they're going to have to do something a little creative. They're going to have to open up the backs of tricks and try to find something creative in the attacking end because the defense, as you can see, they've got 4 back plus a deep holding midfielder. They're good players for Rosemount, the Irish, and they're going to have to find some sort of 1-2 combination or a flick or something creative.
Yeah, a really good shot on goal would be nice. Here's a pass back to Ganji. She's going to look to flick that in a little bit deeper than I was expecting. Thought she was going to go right to the middle. I think she probably got a little more on that than she was anticipating. She hammered that ball, and it goes on one hop to Heck as she scoops it up and gives it another boot. This one going to go to the midfield, right to a teammate.
Yeah, lovely touch there.
Kirsten Lee will throw this one in again. Trying to get it up to Ward, can't. Eagan still trying to battle for the ball. That's Jensen over there. She ends up finally winning it with Lee. Lee gives it a boot. Rockford applies enough pressure to force Rosemount to just play it out of bounds safely yet again. This will be a Kirsten Lee deep throw-in. I wouldn't mind seeing at least one or two defenders cheat up a little bit more as the half wears on. We're almost to the three-quarter point of the game, and it's still a 3-goal game. So eventually you got to take more chances and just say, you know what, there's no sense in protecting a 3-goal deficit. Let's pressure it in. Wow, did Mariganji get a lot of that ball? That thing got a lot closer to the net than I was anticipating. So that tells me if we can get her a little bit closer to the middle of the field on one of those, I have no problem with her firing that ball from 35 yards out. Absolutely, and it's that kind of thing, Skip, that might give the Wildcats some breathing room or some life back into this game is a goal from 30 yards out. And that sun, as you can see with the shadows on the field, is getting lower in the sky behind us. A shot from this side of the field, the near side, if it's up around 6-7 feet in the air, that could be tough for Heck to play. I mean, she could get her eyes right into the sun. You never know how things can happen, like a shot from right here, for example, or maybe a little bit with a better angle, but in that general area. Say it looked like that ball went out. Yep, AR was all over it. And we here at ETV want to thank our ETV staff, producer Josh Sibley, and our technicians, camera guys, Aaron Thomas and Nick Mudd. It's with those guys are able to help us make this broadcast possible. There are also other volunteer opportunities for ETV. You can certainly reach out to ETV on its Facebook page or its website if you're interested in volunteering. It's a lot of fun, and these guys will show you how. Yeah, I'm gonna take an opportunity to say my own personal thank you to Eagan TV for broadcasting so many of Eagan Wildcat sports. It's really fun to be able to watch games. You can watch games in replay, and then of course, from a personal note, being allowed to do the play-by-play of the girls' games has been an absolute treat. If I can get an opportunity to help out with boys, I will. Unfortunately, the schedules don't cooperate with my own son playing, but someday I'll be up here in the booth. And of course, you've got kids in all sports for Eagan for the rest of the decade, so you're going to be doing play-by-play about as long as a guy like Harry Carey. Well, perhaps not quite that long, but I hope that I can be about as 1/10 as beloved as that guy, and I'll stand for being 1/10 as good too. And you'll be a lot more sober. Well, maybe that's why he's so beloved and so good, because he's not. But this is ISD 196 property, and of course tobacco and alcohol are not permitted on these premises. Exactly. Although, as I've done 5 years of Eagan varsity football, and there have been times that I've wanted to drink something a bit more medicinal. But Coach Nick Johnson's got that program kind of going in the right direction, so I'm really excited tomorrow night to watch them play Park Cottage Grove here on this field. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the future of that program. I mean, from everything I hear from parents about the younger ages, that like you said, he's got it headed in the right direction, that the talent is coming up, and I think it's just a matter of of a little bit of time, and Eagan football is gonna have some success, and we're all gonna love it. It's gonna be super exciting. Big throw in here, back to girls soccer action. London coming out nicely and gobbling up that ball. Well played. Getting her hands on it and not letting it out. Smart play there. That could have been dangerous. She took no chances. Skip, the ball's been in the Eagan end a fair amount in the second half, but there have not been a lot of shots on goal that Anderson's had to deal with, nor have there been any really quality scoring chances. Yeah, I think the best one might have been that one recently over from the side here where she fired in the side of the net. I think it was Shea Payne. Other than that, you're right, not a lot at all. This two-player, 2-on-1 defended nicely by Heimerall. Feels like I've said her name a lot. She's all over the place. Just a real quality player for the Rosemount Irish. And just a junior too, Skip. We were talking with Coach Gretchen Stremmel before the game, and she mentioned this junior class being really the strength of this team.
And Heimerall, obviously one of the big leaders, and as you say, she's all over the place. She's everywhere.
Yeah, when you've got a strong program, with youth like that, you really look at it. Boy, what a nice touch there to get in the middle field. Nice pass and tap into the corner. That was just unfortunate for Wildcat fans, but that was a pretty goal. Perfect precision passing, and then the finish is what I think was one of the most impressive parts there. A lot of times these soccer players, they get the ball in the front and they just want to hammer it as hard as they can. It's not about how hard you shoot. It's about putting it into the net. And she just basically passed the ball into the corner of the net. Well played. That was a killer right there. I mean, I know we're getting down to 16 minutes left, so the time was a big factor. But whatever, not momentum, I don't think is the right word, but whatever good feelings Eagan was have about, hey, we've played roughly 30 minutes of soccer even, and we've had some chances. That kind of takes the wind out of the sails.
Yeah, great with a nice finish. As you say, it was just a nice tap in. Doing, excellent run there on the outside, and forgive me, I couldn't see who. I think it was Oliver on the outside. In any event, bottom line is that's a situation where the coaching staff will take a look at that and say, okay, defensively, how could we have done this a little bit differently? Who should have stepped where? Maybe that kind of thing. Because of course, London Anderson had no chance.
Yeah, there's nothing any goalkeeper can do there. I think the one piece I caught was the girl that ended up scoring the goal was standing all alone, right in the middle of the box. So that's something you gotta tighten up defensively when the ball is that deep and you're marking up. The closer they get to the goal, the tighter you need to be on. You just can't give them any space, and she had a lot of space.
In the 54th minute, time of the goal is 53 minutes 51 seconds. Irish goal scored by Eagan.
So I think from a Wildcat standpoint, what you want to see here is Wildcats going to score, right? I mean, get a tie for the second half. Score, have something good happen for you in the next 14 and a half minutes.
Yeah, I think getting a goal is important. They got shut out 1-0 the game before. They lost 2-1 the game before that. So one goal in the last two games. It's obviously one goal is not going to matter here, but if you get a goal, it can start to give you a little more confidence, something to build on for the next game. I mean, and like we said, they've got a lot of games coming up. I mean, we're going to be right back here on Saturday morning at 11 o'clock for a game against Two Rivers. So they need to figure out, what went wrong, make their adjustments at practice tomorrow, and be ready to rock and roll Saturday morning. Eagan clears that one out. This one's kicked out of bounds by the Irish, so good pressure there by Weisendonner. Actually winning possession.
Yeah, a goal may not make a big difference in the larger cosmic scheme of things, but it's probably going to make a big difference for these girls in green, right? In terms of how they feel tomorrow at practice, how they look at this game and say, did we fold up or did we try to punch one in at the end? And to be honest, as a soccer player, win or lose, there's nothing better than breaking up a clean sheet for the other team. Right?
Oh, yeah.
It's like in football, a team's pitching a shutout, and they give up a late touchdown, and it's deflating. And even though it shouldn't be, it is.
Little surprise. So you're the referee. I'm going to ask you about that play. She's on the ground with the ball. Megan Carlson's trying to play it. There was no dangerous play called. Would you have called dangerous play, or did you think that was a good non-call?
I think that was a good non-call because, of course, a player within playing distance of the ball is able to shield the ball. And so if she was standing up, she could shield it. She was sitting down. I think it would have been a little bit different had she been shooting her legs out to try to play the ball instead of just kind of sitting there. But of course, the common misconception and misunderstanding is that you can't play the ball on the ground. Of course, you can. You simply cannot do so in an unsafe manner. And the referee judged that at the varsity level with these varsity girls that there was no unsafe play there. So I probably would have made that a non-call, Skip.
Okay, all right. I'm going to leverage your referee experience pretty much all season long now. I can't believe this is the first time I've asked, but it will not be the last, so be ready for that. Nice defense there by Eagan to win that one. Nice turn with the ball. Hobbs got the quick feet, good skills. Unfortunately, too many defenders, and that one goes out of play. She didn't have a whole lot of passing options either, as it was tight over there against the touchline.
Another substitution for the Irish.
Well, you can see why the Irish are the second-ranked team in the state. I mean, they are right now playing. I mean, the Wildcats, I think, based on the small sample size, I think we can say they're a good team. They have the potential to be great, but they're not there yet. But the Rosemount Irish are playing like a great team right now. They've got their defenses set. They've got great offensive pressure. They've got some big names on the outside. They look like they have earned their number 2 ranking, Skip.
Yeah, absolutely. And the one thing that I always notice with the better teams in any soccer match, the teams that are really good, what they do is they pressure the ball all over the field, and they don't give you a lot of time to control it, to look for a pass or look for a shot to set things up. They're always on you, and they're always pressuring. And that's what Rosemount has done, pretty much from the word go tonight. Even when Eagan controls it, they're having to make quick decisions. They're having to shield the ball. They're having to get rid of it fast. They're probably having to do things that they would rather not do, but because they're under such pressure, they don't have a choice, or they don't feel like they have a choice. So that is the one thing that I've noticed. And I think Eagan has the talent to do that same thing. I think, when they're playing well, they apply really good pressure, especially from that back line. So if they can get that same concept going, at the middle of the field especially, and even up front, then things will start to go their way. They just ran into a good hot team tonight, and they're just trying to like we said, end on a positive note. Nice defensive play here by Ganji.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot. I think we're going to see a lot of growth in this Wildcat team between now and, say, as you said, and I think you said something like this team's got 4 games in the next 9 days or something like that, or 8-10 days or something. I think we're going to see a lot of growth in this Wildcat team. They're going to see a lot of soccer, and we're going to see what they can do with it.
Be a throw in here for Kira Waldrop. The sophomore started as a freshman last year. Gets it up to Kylie. Over to midfield. Hobbs has it.
Nice overlap by Lee, but even better defense that time by the Irish.
This is Caitlin Matzik winning the ball. She's got a chance to do something with it. She's going to cross it. Unfortunately, Rockford was in close, and Heck comes off her line and wins that one. So a good cross there. It went over Rockford's head. What we needed was that second attacker coming in behind the play to beat Heck to the ball. Unfortunately, we only had one girl there. So I think that's an opportunity or something I would like to see, especially when you're down 4. We should be more aggressive in pressing the attack there. We literally have nothing to lose. There's 8 minutes and 50 seconds left. You give up a 5th goal now, doesn't matter, but it'd be nice to go down and punch one in.
Well, I like Matzik being decisive with it. I mean, she gets the ball on her feet and she makes something happen. She didn't try to dribble too close. She didn't try to do. She just was going to put it into the box and see if one of her teammates could make a play. I like decisive.
Yes. A rare free kick. We haven't had a whole lot of these in the game. It's been a really clean game. Rosemount wins that. They're going to pass it up, but Ganji is there to make the play. She's got Ella Logan. Can't quite win that. Jensen also there pressuring the ball. Rosemount goes deep over Waldrop's head. Ganji's there to kick that one out of play. .7:45 remaining. 4-0 Rosemount. Jensen again trying to win that, but now it gets back to her. She controls it. Rare time. She plays it deep. Rosemount's there to win that temporarily, but Hobbs gets up pressuring it over to Caitlin Matzik again. Matzik's going to cross it again. Unfortunately can't get it high, but it goes back to her. Now she's got a chance to maybe shoot with her left, but well defended. Eagan wins this one, hit the middle of the field. If they can get a shot off, they're in a good position. Ganji's going to take that left-footed shot. We saw the big right foot a couple of times in the first half. Now she went left off a volley, tough volley from that spot, but I like the fact that she just decided to wing it. Why not right at this point? So unfortunately it goes high and wide. We'll have another goal kick.
Substitutions, one for each team. For the Wildcats, Caitlin Riley, number 17, back in. For the Irish, Nora Garrett, number 13, back in.
Caitlin Riley back in, taking off Ella Logan. Eagan wins the goal kick, but loses possession, fighting for it. Getting it back is Jensen. Passes it back to Carlson. She controls, nice play to space. Goes back to Ganji, who stops it, takes a look. Plays a long pass up, looking for Matson. Tough play there. She's trying to shield the defender and win the ball at the same time. That's what we're talking about. Those long balls are really hard to play when the defender's right on you. Have not seen any success, I don't think, pretty much throughout the game with that kind of a pass. I mean, that's the play that just isn't working so far against this Rosemount Irish defense.
Well, yeah, it's not. And even with the change in the formation, there has not been a pronounced. There's been better play, I think, in the midfield. At least I think I've seen better play in the midfield. A few more passes connected, more communication. But we have not seen the resulting shots on goal. I mean, I think unofficially, I think the Wildcats are still looking for their first shot on goal here of the half.
Yeah, and that kind of says it all with how the second half goes. The Irish defense has been really shut down. Hecht has not had to do a whole lot, just come off her line a couple of times to play some crosses.
There's also a tendency, I think, for the Wildcat players to press a little bit, Skip, as you might imagine. I mean, being down a few goals and you know, the game being where it is, there's a tendency, I think, sometimes for them to, you know, maybe press and try to do too much, or be too, you know, maybe come out of their position or their role sometimes, and try to, you know, help their teammates either with holding on to it a little extra long, or trying that pass that's a little more risky. And of course, maybe that's what we're seeing.
This one played off of Ganji. This will be another corner kick for Rosemount, according to the scoreboard at least. I think this is number 7, but I'm not sure how updated that is. But I know their corners have all been placed really well. Of course, now you can see some of the Eagan players shielding their eyes. They're looking right into the sun. And then after I say they've all been played really well, they kick one out of bounds.
Well, side netting, if you're a Eagan supporter, that's what you like to see. Could have seen it, but you know, as you say, you know, the Irish have not done a whole lot off of those corners, even though they've had a fair number of them. Their goals have come from open play, not necessarily set piece.
Here's, looks like a long shot, well wide. Into the game, Sydney Gilbertson, a sophomore forward. So we talked about the strong junior class for the Irish, and it is a lot of juniors. They only have 5 seniors, and it looks like just a couple of sophomores. No freshmen on the Irish, so they're junior heavy. So one of the rare underclassmen there taking that long shot. The ball's at midfield for another throw-in.
It'll be interesting to see, Skip, as these two teams progress through the conference season, how their paths diverge. I mean, and how they go. Will Rosemount continue its dominance, or will it have some struggles, as most teams at some point in a season do? Very few teams go undefeated. Very few teams, you know, win almost every game or every game they play. You know, where will Rosemount's struggles be? Where will the Eagan Wildcats, you know, find the goals that right now they're not able to put on the scoreboard? I mean, it'll be interesting to see how that all fits together.
Yeah, that is the fun of the season, and you know, the longer a team goes, you know, where they're ranked in the top, you know, 5 of the state, and they're not losing a game, the pressure does start to build, and yeah, the momentum builds as well. But it almost gets to a point where if you don't win the state tournament, you're going to feel like it failed, you know, it's going to be a disappointing finish, and that's something I've seen happen on teams multiple times. Here's a goal-scoring chance. Eagan did a nice job defensively. London coming off her line as well to make sure no good shot on goal is taken. But, to finish that thought, Nathan, I really think that teams start to put the pressure on themselves to get near the end of the season. That's when, you get to the sections and it's one loss and done. That can be a stressful time for these teams. And, if you're a team that struggles early, like the Wildcats are about to lose their third game in a row, so they're going to be 1-3. If they can get things right and start to build momentum towards the end of the season, like they did last year, then you get into that, we're firing on all cylinders, we've got momentum, we're having fun, and you get to that anything can happen, stage of mentality, and it's exciting as fans and parents and players. Coaches love it, and it really makes for a great experience. And I think that's really what we're hoping for, with this club. And again, they have the talent to make it happen. It's just there are a lot of girls that haven't played together a lot, so I think it might take them a few more games to pull things through.
Well, and of course, playing against an excellent a top 5 team from Rosemount is a hard way to be introduced to South Suburban Conference play. I think it's fair to say that this is probably the best, at least on paper. This is certainly the best team that the Wildcats probably will play all season. Maybe probably nobody better than them. We'll see, and we'll see if the Wildcats are able to get some of that confidence playing against teams that, frankly, they should be able to match up very well against.
Yeah, I think that's a safe statement. They're not gonna play a tougher opponent. So I kind of like getting them early. The thing could be if they meet up again with them in the postseason. And again, if we're firing on all cylinders, what we learned last year, anything can happen. So that would be exciting. Unfortunately, this one has come to an end. 4-0 is the score. The Rosemount Irish advancing their record to 6-0. Of course, 1-0 in the South Suburban Conference. This is the first conference game for both teams. Eagan falls to 1-3, 0-1 in the conference. Any final thoughts, Nathan, that you have before we sign off?
Well, kudos to the Rosemount Irish. They played a great game. They jumped on the Wildcats early. Within the first 17 minutes, they had 3 goals and really never took their foot off the gas. They showed class. They showed intensity. It was a relatively clean game, even though these are 2 intra-district rivals. The Wildcats have some work to do. They have a good coaching staff. They have, as you said, Skip, plenty of talent, but they have some work to do, and they're going to have to, in practice this week and in coming weeks, they're going to have to do some of those things and change some of those things or get better at the things that they need to get better at to be able to be more competitive on the field.
Absolutely. Hey, I appreciate that, and thank you again for joining me. Of course, Eagan fans, stick around. We've got the boys varsity game coming up in just 20 minutes, so an exciting doubleheader here on Eagan TV. For Nathan Cron, my name is Skip Newton. We will be back on Saturday for the next girls game, again, 11 o'clock against Two Rivers right here at Wildcat Stadium. This is Skip Newton signing off for Eagan TV. Have a great night, everyone.